Around this time of year, everyone starts going to university or starts applying to university, and I start spitting with jealousy. I loved university in so many ways. I have so many fond memories, peppered with some not so fond memories, most involving one particular second-year housemate with a penchant for passive-aggressive notes and awful pre-drinks music. I actually get asked about this on the regular. It is such a huge decision and it can all seem so overwhelming, so fortunately, the Student Room have put together a tool to help you look at your options and find the right place for you. It's called Uni Match, and what I think makes it different is the fact that it takes into account more than just the grades and the courses. It takes into account things like human elements, things like what past students felt about the course. I picked my uni because my best friend Chloe was there and she told me all about the course she was on and how much fun she was having, and it all sounded so exciting. I went to visit her and fell in love with Lincoln straight away, so it was much more of a personal decision for me than just, oh, this uni has great name recognition and I have the grades to get in. So I'll leave a link in the description for Uni Match so you can have a nose and see what you think for yourself, but I reckon it's pretty cool. I actually used the Student Room a ton before going to uni because I had so many questions, and finding other people sharing their experiences helped me find the answers. So, share because you care, pass on the goodwill. I'm gonna answer your questions right now, you're welcome. Why do you think there's so much pressure on young people to go to uni? I actually took a year out because when I was finishing my A-levels, I felt so much pressure because everyone else was going to university that I should be going as well, that I essentially rage quit and I was like, Mum, I'm not going, I'm not doing it, and she was like, that's fine, just have a plan for your life. After I'd started my job and I had less thoughts in my head, I had less going on, I saw all my friends going to uni, and then I was like, oh yeah, that would be fun. So in my experience, the only pressure I was getting was to make a decision one way or the other. I think there's a level of traditional expectation, so you're an intelligent person, you just finished your A-levels, the next logical step is to go to university. I think that can seem like there is a pressure on you, I think that can seem like that is just the expectation, when actually, it is a really good option for people, and it is the responsibility, I think, of society to encourage that. Did you manage to balance all the different aspects of uni well? Work, socialising, exercise, jobs, etc. If so, how? I actually did pretty well. I did my coursework, I went to the gym regularly, I had a podcast at one point, I was part of a few societies, we went to the pub, and I still found time to waste entire days watching Will and Grace. This might sound quite dismissive, but it's just how life works. You grow older, and you realise, actually, I have to start being self-motivated and making decisions for myself. So if I say I've got 3 days, at the end of that 3 days I've got handed a 5,000 word essay, and then someone texts me and says, do you want to go out tonight? I go, yes, I will go out tonight if I can write 1,500 words. If I haven't written those words, then I won't go out. That's a reward. The fun aspect is a reward for doing the thing that you're there to do anyway. I think the key to so many things in life is balance. You need to find the right balance between work and play. I don't mean this to get too shining or anything. The other thing is you're not going to get it right straight away. You may not get it right at all. You might find yourself having too much fun and then you realise, oh crap, I've got to hand in an essay tomorrow morning. I'm going to pull an all-nighter. Equally, you might think like, well, I managed to get all my essays in on time, but I missed a cinema trip with my friends. Could I have had that 2 hours and still finish the essay? You just kind of have to do a lot of trial and error, and you'll get there. Can you give a random piece of advice that isn't expected, but someone would need? At Freshers' Fair, sometimes they give out these key rings, and on the end of the key ring, the little disc is the same size and shape as a £1 coin. Keep that, because when you go to your supermarket and the trolleys need to have £1, that fits. So you get a trolley, and you don't even need any change. If you could go back, would you still go to university? And if yes, would you still take the same course? Yes and no. Yes, I would go back to Lincoln. I had such a great time there. I loved the university and its facilities. I loved the place, although I am naturally very curious, so I would like to know what it's like to go to other universities. As to the course, it's quite interesting. I actually started doing film and television and drama as a joint honours, but I found the drama side to just really be actually killing my passion for theatre and acting, so I decided to drop that half and just focus on the film and TV production side, which is actually a good example of sometimes even when you make a decision, there are ways to change that decision. Instead of doing the joint honours, I just do straight up media production so that I could do things like photography and radio and web design, which I didn't get a chance to try out because I was doing drama for the year. And ultimately, I think I would have got more from those things than I did from that. But I still made the most of what I was given and had an amazing experience. That said, I have thought about doing either a master's or even just a second degree in something completely different. I like learning. That makes me sound like such a nerd, and I never thought I would be this person, but I like going to lectures. I actually miss taking notes and hearing people tell me about new things. But I'd probably want to do it in something completely different. I'd want to do maybe politics, or is it better to go away for uni or stay at home? There is no right answer to this question, it all depends on you. I actively wanted to go away from home, I wanted that complete independence, and so I applied to places that were quite far flung around the country, but I had people on my course who still lived with their parents the entire time. It's about what works for you, because as I said, I'm quite independent, I like my own company, And I have a really great relationship with my mum and dad, which is that we can be far apart, and I still know that they're there, just off somewhere, ready to look after me at a moment's notice, but I wanted to know what it was like to kind of just be utterly by myself. And I think you do get an awful lot from having to wash your own dishes, and wash your own clothes, and wash your own face. There's a lot to be learned from having to be self-sustaining. But that's not the case for everyone. You might have a job that you want to keep, and so getting somewhere closer to home makes more sense. You might have someone that you need to care for, and so you need to stay. And that's fine too. You'll still get the same experience. I think ultimately you just need to sit down and think, okay, what do I want? And then make that decision. And if you do want to go halfway across the country, don't forget, we live on a tiny island. If you need to run away and go home, and I did on a number of occasions, you definitely still can. Do you have any advice for people with a vague idea of what they want to do but don't know what specific course to choose? Uni match! How did you decide what 5 unis to apply to? What factors were most important when you chose them? I applied to uni twice, and both times I picked 5 different universities. First time around, I didn't actually want to go to university, I was just doing it for the sake of it, so I picked 5 different places and 5 different courses that all sounded quite fun. Second time around, I knew I wanted to go, I knew I wanted to do something around film studies, so I picked a bunch of unis that offered courses related to that were in places I visited before, that I liked, or that I had friends at who told me that it was a great place. The best way to decide though, I think, is to go and visit places. So go to open days, take advantage of every open day that you possibly can. Also take some time to go to the surrounding areas and have a look at what the actual place is like, because it's going to be 3 years of your life that you'll spend there. You want to make sure you're in a place you feel happy and cozy and comfy, and when Chloe took me into Lincoln Town Centre for the first time, I instantly was like, I could be happy here. Is uni honestly even worth the bloody expense? This is a tricky one. When my little brother went to university, he paid 3 times the amount I did. It is a huge amount of money. The positive is that student loans are actually some of the best loans you'll ever get in your life. You don't have to start paying them back until you're at a certain wage, and even then you pay it back incrementally, but it is really expensive. I firmly believe it was worth the money. My little brother also believes it was worth the money, even though there's this huge disparity in between the amounts we paid. I think you get out of university what you put in. So I went to as many lectures as I could, even ones outside of my course. I went to additional screenings. I started a podcast outside of my degree. I joined 2 societies. I was part of the tennis club. I went to the gym regularly. I threw myself into university life, and I honestly think I was enriched for the experience. I guess the point I'm trying to make is there's no getting around how expensive it's going to be, but it's on you to make sure it's worth it. Honestly, I could talk about this for hours. I have so many opinions. What, Dan? You? Opinions? No. Yes. Hopefully this clears some of the fog, and if you still have questions, I wholeheartedly recommend you go over to the student room, because you'll find answers to everything there, and maybe more. If I didn't catch your question, oh god, I'm so sorry, but feel free to leave them in the comment below, and hopefully other people will answer your question as well. Share your experiences with each other. I reckon that no one's experience is going to be the same, and that's actually quite helpful, so do that. Don't forget the link is down there if you want to go and have a play with Unimatch, and good luck. This is a huge decision, but it's also supposed to be a really exciting one, so don't let all the pressure cloud how much fun this could be. That's it. Live long and prosper. I don't.